Rusty's Crypto Cave here, and the other day when we were out in the shed, I mentioned I was going to make a video about the top 5 things that I like about mmpOS. It's been over a year. It was probably beginning late September, early October is when I switched my first rig over to mmpOS, and have pretty much the entire farm, all but 2, which as soon as I'm done being lazy and just flash another 2 more SSDs with mmpOS, I'll do it. Or I can even just hop in and there is a way you could do it. Command line you can enter and do it right from HiveOS and migrate over. I could do it that way. That way's not as reliable, but I'd probably rather just put a fresh install on a new SSD because I have a couple 120 gig or 240 giggers laying around here, and just do a fresh install and get them going. But I'll get those other 2 migrated over, which is the 1660 Ti rig and the 3070 Ti rig are the only 2 that are still on HiveOS right now. This is my current farm, what's on. That 3700X rig, I could probably even just delete that just because it's now a, what's his face? A salad rig. But I'll leave it there just in case I ever take it off salad and do something else with it and put it back on CPU mining. So 2070s are currently off and the 2080 Ti's are currently off. I'm debating about selling all those cards and maybe replace the 2070s with 3070s and then the 2080 Ti's either with 3070s or see if I can pick up some more CMP cards or something like that. But that's not the point of this video. So the point of this video is pretty much what I like the best about mmpOS. Since I've been on it a year, I have them ranked. I'll do my 5th one is number 5 would be, even if you are a free user, you could still share access to your farm. So if you need help with overclocking or troubleshooting or setting things up, something like that, you can share your farm as a free user. You don't have to be a paid user, like HiveOS did change that you have to be a paid user. So I know Oldboard, for example, helped a ton of people out with their overclocks and stuff like that. And he was actually in the process of migrating and stuff over to mmpOS before he passed away. May you rest in peace. It's basically just sharing an email, send an email, and invite them to the farm because Backwards Miner has access to my farm and has helped me out in the past before with a few different things. And it's easy to do. I'm not going to go into my profile to do it because it will dox me in my farm and my email address, his email address, all that stuff. So, but it's just over here in farms, and you can just invite users to your farm. So, the number 4 would be, and everybody that is a HiveOS user, this has guaranteed has happened to them. Corrupt installs, corrupt SSDs, corrupt USB sticks that you have to reflash and redo them and reset everything up. In the years I've been on mmpOS, have not had to do that once. Did I just jinx myself? I don't know, but so far did not have to reflash one or reinstall it or anything like that. On HiveOS, I had to do it a lot. Especially with the stock SSDs from the Octominers. Those were terrible. Those 60 gig ones, those were cheap as shit, and they were awful. They didn't last very long, and but even after reflashing them, put them on a USB stick or another SSD to like a Kingston 120 or something, still had to redo those as well. So it wasn't just those cheap ass 60 giggers. It seemed like HiveOS, for whatever reason, just chewed through SSDs and corrupt installs, and they just wouldn't boot and all that fun stuff. So that was kind of a pain in the ass to see a rig down and get home late at night from work and then have to reflash an SSD to get it up running overnight before you had to go back to work the next day type thing. So that I don't miss doing that. That is for sure. So, and then number 3 in the list is custom placeholders. This is a unique feature to mmpOS. If you go into Miner Profiles, you'll see a tab here for custom placeholders. You could just create one. You just leave it blank. You don't have to put anything in it right now. I did do another video on using custom placeholders for overclocks. You basically just click add, name it. You could put values in here if you want, or you could just leave it blank. The ones that I did here were just different blank ones I did for overclocks, for dual mining and things like that. And then let's go to Miner Profiles. I can see I could pull one up here. That's the second page. I probably should have been a little bit more ready. Yeah, here we go. We'll use this guy. And then down here, in the Miner Profile, this is where you would add your custom placeholders. You put that in here. as along, it just adds it into the string, so you can hit custom placeholders. You can pick whatever one you want here. This one I used 3070 Rigel ZIL, so this would be dual mining lithium and silica. And then when you're on a rig, I'm just gonna pick one randomly. You just go over here, default, placeholders, pick whatever custom placeholder you want. And this is where you would put all your parameters, and as far as overclocks, and especially with the silica and lithium dual mining. Lithium was core based, silica was memory based because of its hash. So you would have completely different overclocks, and this is where you could put it in. Otherwise, you would have to set a miner profile for every single rig that you would have to do. And then you'd have a ton of different, you'd have, like I had 3070s, 3060 Ti's, 2080 Ti's, 2070s, 2080, I did say 2080 Ti's, 3070 Ti's, the CMP cards. I would have to have a separate miner profile with the overclocks in the flight sheet. Miner profile, flight sheet is what issuance calls them, to have them in there. And then you'd have it just cleans up your list of miner profiles, or flight sheets if you want to call them that. It makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to hit close. I'm going to hit close because we're not going to use that. But that's where you would put the information in. That way, you didn't use the overclocking on the dashboard. You would just use that for all your OCs, especially if you're going to flip-flop back and forth between different ones. Or if you do use overclocking a dashboard, you just set them all here. But when you dual mine or triple mine, that type of thing, you can't flip-flop your overclocks from like a core-based algo to a memory-based algo and back and forth. Especially silica is the main one that would use that to go back and forth. So, which that's actually going to be coming to end here soon, probably by the end of the year, because silica is going to proof of stake anyway. So, the number 2 on my list is pricing. Oh, actually, the other thing I can mention about number 3, overclocks. I pretty much overclock everything right here in the dashboard. It works perfectly fine. Never had any issues. Never had to lose overclocks or anything like that. Everything's always stuck for me. So it's pretty, and you can save a ton of different presets, all kinds of different presets and stuff for different GPUs and stuff I have saved in here. You can pull them right up. It's great. I freaking love that part of it. Or you could go in here and manually adjust everything that you want to do. Either way, both ways work great. So, and then say if I have, like for example, 3070s, every 3070 rig, it pretty much pulls them all up with CMP cards. You can apply the profile to the overclock profile to both of the rigs. And then if I need to fine tune them, I can fine tune them, because here, this is where you can fine tune each card individually. Or when you do it up here, up that one, this is where it's going to load a preset for all the cards at the same time. So if you adjust one, you can apply it to just this card, or apply similar is going to apply it to all 6 or 8 or how many ever cards you have in your rig. So, but either way you do your overclocks, it works great. Never really had any issues with overclocking in the Hive dashboard either, so couldn't really complain about that. The one thing that was a pain in the butt is though having all the different flight sheets in issuance for all the different GPUs, even though it could have been mining the same coin, but I had to do it and did your overclocking in the, because there for a while you couldn't lock your core clock in issuance. You can now. You could do a lock core in here, core offset, lock memory, all that stuff right from the dashboard. So that makes things nice and simple. So, and then number 2 on the list is going to be pricing. It is definitely cheaper. CPU rigs are all free. And if you have a GPU on there with less than 3 gigs of RAM, I believe it is, those are free as well. So if you have like a CPU rig with a monitor hooked up in one of those, I don't know, GT710 MSI things, because I have a couple of those laying around that I use I'll throw on a rig to troubleshoot it type things, hook up a monitor if I need to. You could even leave it on there, and it's not going to cost you anything. There for a while, especially when I had the CPU rigs upstairs here in the house, when they were basically sitting right over there, they both had monitors hooked up to them with those GT710 display output cards, basically. I think they only had like a gig of RAM, something like that, but they were still free, whereas on the issuance, that would count as a GPU rig, and they would whack you to $3 a month for it. So, CPU rigs are completely free, 100%. There's no charge for them. Even they're only 50 cents in Hive, which isn't a lot, but hey, margins are thin, and every little bit counts. So, and then let me hop over in here. This is the comparison, because I did a video before comparing the cost of the when HiveOS did their pricing changes and what mmpOS was currently going to cost me. Now, I don't currently have all 76 GPUs on right now. I believe I have 60 something on right now. 62. I believe I have about 62 of them on right now. So, and they are, yeah, because 8 2080 Ti's and the 6 2070s are not currently on. So take 14 off of that. You got 62 of them running and 3 CPU rigs. But anyway, this gives you an idea as far as full pricing. This was back in March. So full pricing the farm, if it was on HiveOS, would be $32 a month it would cost me. And current setup with all those cards, yeah, 62. Yeah, here we go. $12 a month, basically, with all of them on there. 62 cards, $12 a month. So, yeah, pretty big difference. So, and it only gets cheaper the longer you are on there. Let me pop back over here. So, and I am currently loyalty level is 8. I'm not sure exactly how often that updates. I think it's around a 45-60 day mark as it goes up 1 point, and then you do get a greater bump when you purchase credits. Still have just under 4,000 credits to go, but say if I want to do my 62 cards for 90 days, I gain for the referral program, and I also gain from being a loyal supporter. So I'm basically getting 25%, get 10% bonus there for having referred people, which thank you to the it's exactly 60 people who signed up using my link. So thank you very much on that. Whether it's 1 or 60, that stays the same, so it doesn't matter. But if you if you're interested in mmpOS, I'll leave a link down below that you can use to sign up. And then the loyalty thing is where I'm getting even more. So I'm getting basically 20% upgrade or a bump in credits for loyalty upgrade. So I can spend $46 and I'll end up getting over 7,000 credits, which will last me an extremely long time. So now as I turn more cards on, then they'll get used quicker than that. But excuse me, I won't purchase anymore probably until the new year. It's probably when I'll re-up and spend some money and reload the mmpOS with some credits, and just use that. They probably get me throughout the whole year. So because it's dropping by about 62 a day, and then I get like 16 free credits a day, so about 46 per day is what my credits drop. So still have a good bit of time left. I probably have enough credits to last me till about February-ish, I'm guessing, at the current number of hardware. So, and then lastly, the number one thing by far, which I always kind of hated to do. A lot of people hate doing the two. Even with the 2 rigs that are still currently on HiveOS, they need to be updated. I constantly hated to go in there and then do updates on the rigs to get the latest versions of the miners and all that type of stuff. mmpOS will update your miners automatically. More often than not, that's how I find out that a miner has been updated, because I get all the notifications about miners being updated. So I have them all marked red, so it won't show me anything there. But I'll come in and there'll be like 15 or 18 or 20 notifications up there, and it's all miner updated, rig restarted, all that stuff. It does it pretty much automatically, sometimes within hours of the miner being released, and it is ridiculously quick. So pretty much don't have to worry about it. And even when the layout mining came out, at first it wasn't part of their system, and then they kind of built it in shortly after. So like HiveOS still didn't build it in; it doesn't really support it. You have to do the custom miner thing. So it's built into mmpOS. It just most recently did an update, I guess yesterday or maybe even earlier today. It's on Aleo Miner 3.0.12. So that's been updated a couple times since the 3.0.08 or whatever the hell it was. So, but yeah, makes it a lot easier, a whole lot easier to maintain. You don't have to do it that much. And honestly, I don't do a whole lot with the GPU rigs. It's pretty much almost a set and forget it. Dare I say, almost kind of like an ASIC. Yeah, there's a crash occasionally here and there or something like that. I might have to. The 3080s are ones that sometimes get a little unstable, I will have to go out and just do a hard restart. But they were like that in HiveOS too. I don't know if it's something with, and the overclocks aren't really aggressive. It's not really pushing it. It's actually they're locked, low core clock and low memory clock. So it just, something just gets unstable and they just crash every now and then. But it's not even all that often. Most of the time it restarts itself. So, and the biggest thing is when I have a power outage, my lazy ass still didn't get into the BIOS on my 3070 Ti rig. That will automatically power on or reboot on power on type deal. So, or restored power, I should say. So that's my fault for just being a lazy ass. So, and that is top 5 of the things I like about mmpOS after using it for a year. Now it's not perfect. There are a few dislikes, so it won't be a correct review video without things that I dislike. One of the nicest things I think about HiveOS was the mobile app. It was very, very cool. I really liked that. It was very convenient. The mobile website for mmpOS does work pretty well, and it does. Some mobile websites get a little wonky when you're looking at it on your phone. The mmpOS one does fit pretty good in your phone. Or I haven't checked it on a tablet, but I'm assuming if it looks good on the phone, it'll probably look pretty good on the tablet as well. And it works pretty well, just pretty much how this works. Oh, and yeah, more recently, as far as I know, I have to do some more research on it, but as far as I know, I don't believe you could access Core Fleet yet on mmpOS. I haven't really dove too far into it to really look at if you can or not. I mean, it's Linux based, so I'm thinking you might be able to, and maybe just have to SSH in and run some commands to install the software and stuff. You might be able to do it, but I haven't looked into it that far yet, as far as that goes. So who knows? You might be able to do it. But and then some other things as far as it's a little bit, if you're really used to HiveOS, there was a little bit of a learning curve as far as profiles, pools, and all that type of stuff. It works similar, but yet a little bit different. So it's not 100% exactly the same. So it's not really a major negative. It was different. So, and people don't like change. So so it took a little bit of getting used to getting everything set up. But once I did, everything works great. No complaints. And like I said, I really love the fact that you don't have to update the miners. That was the biggest pain in the ass. I could probably go to my HiveOS. Both of those rigs need to be updated. They probably haven't been updated since, well, the one I did for Oleo, but the one that's still on Zealous, that probably still hasn't been updated in 3-4 months. So yeah, it is what it is with that. So anyway, but yeah, so if you guys are interested, like I said, in checking out mmpOS, like I said, I'll leave a link down below. If not, you can just go to mmpos.eu and to download it and set up. Actually, I have videos about that as well. I could probably put that in the card too. But you basically just click get mmpOS and then download the thing, and you just flash it just like you would flash HiveOS or anybody else. So easy peasy. So anyway, until the next video, we'll catch you later.